In this video, I'm going to show you how to access assignments on Jupyter Grades, edit them using Notability, save those completed assignments to Google Drive, and then ultimately upload those assignments to Jupyter Grades so that they can be scored and graded by your teacher. The first thing that you need to do is open up Jupyter Grades. So wherever you have Jupyter Grades saved on your iPad, click on the app to open it up. Once Jupyter Grades is open, click on your to-do list. In your to-do list, you'll be able to see all of the classes that you're enrolled in, plus any assignments and when they're due. If you notice underneath each of the classroom names that has due dates, like due Friday or due Monday, and then information about the assignment. In this case, we're going to open up a general science assignment, and we're going to click on it and take a look at the assignment. Now, the first thing you see is a box that gives you information about submitting this assignment. We'll come back to this later after the assignment is complete. As we scroll down, you'll notice there's directions for how to complete the assignment, and then also some documents that are attached. We're going to click on one of the documents and open it up. So when you click on a document that's attached in Jupyter Grades, it opens up in a web browser. Right? Web browsers are great for looking at documents, but they don't help you actually edit the document. You need to send this document to a place where you can edit it, which means write on it or draw on it or otherwise change it so you can put answers on that document. Up at the top of your screen, there is a variety of different icons. One of the icons looks like a square with an arrow exploding out of the top of it. If you look closely up at the top right of the screen, you'll see it there. We're going to click on that icon. Now, when this icon opens up, you get a list of some of the apps that are available for you to use. If you scroll all the way across to the right, you get a More button that gives you even more apps that you can access. We're going to touch the More button right now. Now you see a list of all those suggested apps that you can use. We want to use a particular app to edit this document, okay? And this app is very important. It's called Notability, okay? The Notability icon is the one that's bluish, purplish kind of, has the pencil and the microphone connected to each other. We're going to click on Notability and open up the document in Notability. When you open up a new document in Notability, you're going to get a couple of different choices. You're going to see the thumbnail of the document, and then down below you can see there is Add to Primary and Secondary Sources, Create New Note, Add to Another Note. If you wanted to add this particular document to another document you're working on in Notability, you could do that. But right now, we want to create a new note, so we're going to click on that button. Now we need to put this in a place where we'll be able to find it. Organizing your notes in Notability is really important because if you're working on something, you need to be able to go back and access it. Down below the thumbnail image, you can see the note title, and you can also see an option for subjects. We can click on where it says Unit 1 to determine which folder we want to put it in. Now, if you see, this student has their Notability notes organized by class and also by units. We want to place this particular one in Unit 1 because that's where her teacher wants her to keep it safe and stored. Now that we have it in the right place, we're going to click the Import button in the top right corner. If you look up there, you'll see it in blue. So we see that the file was sent to Notability. We're going to click Done. And now we're going to go back to Notability and open it up. And we'll have a chance to edit the document. Now, before we can find it, we need to look through all of the different folders that we have and remember where we put it. In this case, we put it in Unit 1, so we're going to click on that folder. And then we're going to look at and find the name of the document and open it up. Here's the document. This is the same one that we downloaded from Jupyter Grades, the same one that we saw inside the web browser, but now it's open in Notability and we can edit it. First thing you need to know is that if you want to scroll up and down on Notability, you have to use 2 fingers. The reason why I use 2 fingers is because you'll be using 1 finger to do all of the editing. So scrolling requires 2 fingers. Let's look at all of the different tools that are on top of Notability. If you click on the T, you have the option to create a text box. If you tap and put the text box on the screen, you're able to type. When you put the text box, your iPad's smart enough to know to pop the keyboard up so that you can type. We're going to go ahead and type something. Go ahead. Okay. The second icon that we can use is the pencil icon. So if you touch the pencil icon, you have the ability to draw or write freehand on the document. Now, if we don't like what we wrote, we can erase it by touching the eraser and using that eraser function to get rid of it. Another tool we can use is the highlighter. Once you select the highlighter, you can use it to highlight any text or any part of the document. And if we don't like that, we can erase it as well by pressing the back key. If you write on the document and you want to move what you wrote around, that's where you can use the scissors. So let's write something first, or make a drawing or an object. And then we can use the scissors to cut it out and move it around if we want. On all of the icons where you tap and there's colors involved, you can change the color by double tapping on the icon. You can pick the color that you want or that you need, right, and select from the color palette that's available. So once our document is complete and we've finished it, meaning we've answered all the questions or completed all of the different problems that were given to us on the document, and we're comfortable with the completed product, it's time for us to turn it in on Jupyter Grades. The first thing we have to do is we need to save it somewhere safe. Remember that little square box with the arrow pointing out at the top? See it over there on the left-hand side? You're going to click on that. Now, it gives you some options, places that you could send this finished document. We want to send this to Google Drive, so we're going to touch Google Drive. Now, Google Drive is a great place for you to keep all of your documents, right? Because you can organize things, keep them in files and subfolders, and subfolders that can be accessed later on. Also, if you happen to lose your iPad or it stops working, you can always just log in from another device and all of your documents are still there. Now, we could pick which folder we want to put it in right now, or we can just send it to Google Drive and organize it into the folder we want later. So we're going to click the Send to Google Drive button. Now that the document's in Google Drive, it's time to go back to Jupyter Grades to submit it. Let's return to Jupyter Grades and access the original assignment. So here we are back at the same spot. And if you look at it carefully, you can see the same assignment that we looked at before with the directions and the downloadable documents at the bottom. Now we're looking at this black bordered rectangle that helps us turn in our completed document. We got a couple of different options. One of them is Google Drive. Remember, we just saved our finished work to Google Drive. Let's click on Google Drive. The dialog box that pops up shows us some of our most recent documents. Let's click on the document we just finished. You can see the happy face on it right there. Now, to select it and actually upload it, click on the Select button. Now you can see the document was turned in. There's also a timestamp that tells you the date and the time that it was completed. If you wanted to, you could turn in another version of it if you decided to revise your work. And that's it.